What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. Today, it's going to be a Freestyle Friday. We have a few topics and conversations that we're going to talk about today. I have a few guests that's going to join me today, and I'll allow my guests to introduce themselves to the show.
DJ Shawnee D, from Shy, but now live in Detroit.
And I'll
Who
introduce. Go ahead, Big Dave.
so
It's
you should introduce people.
it's real talk with Big Dave. What up, though?
What up, though? And then I also have Kiera Bradley that's going to join us on the conversation. So first and foremost, I want to say what's up to each and every one of you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming on to the show. Today's show was supposed to have been about another title, but everyone didn't show up. Everybody didn't come. So we're just going to do a freestyle Friday and just talk about anything. How's everybody Friday been going?
Long. It was
Right
long.
about to say long.
Better now.
Yeah.
Man, I had
Better
a
now.
long
The
Yeah, it
best part
definitely
has
was a
happened.
long day for us, Kiera, on that line.
Man, talk
Yep.
about it.
Yep. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and start the conversation off. It was an incident out in Cincinnati. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this situation, but it was they're calling it the Cincinnati brawl. It kind of was like the brawl that happened on the boat, I believe, out in Alabama, where you had
Montgomery. Yeah.
yeah,
you
where you had the blacks that was fighting against a group of white people on that boat. So this kind of somewhat was the same similar situation. You had a situation that happened in Cincinnati where you had a group of white people that was outside of a bar, and these were Russian white guys. And let me mention that too. And this brawl started off with one of the Russians smacking this black man, and that's when the brawl took off. It was a total chaos. You had some of the white women that was with some of the white men that end up getting knocked out. Then at the end of the day, the news reported it like the brawl was started by blacks. Four black people were arrested. None of the whites were arrested, and they end up starting the brawl in the beginning. It was four Russians, I believe, that was totally involved with starting this brawl. So my first question to you, DJ Shiny D, I know in the beginning you said you wasn't too familiar with this case, but give me your thoughts and your opinion on what you've heard about this case thus far.
Well, to be honest, I would really have to know a little bit more, like the preliminary stuff. Like I would need to know. I don't feel like I have enough detail, but from what you have just told me, I would say Punk step up to get beat down. Like we tired of, taking licks. Y'all gonna get some licks back. And why they asses didn't get deported? Well, it was ICE in this shit. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? So I would really have to know, as black people, we are not a confrontational people. We are a loving, giving people, and we invite people in. Well, I'm not saying that there ain't ignorant YNs out there. I'm saying that for the most part, in general, we're not people that would just go out to start a fight.
Right.
So I would like to know, like, what was the conversation beforehand? And I'm sure these black people that got arrested are going to, and all of their friends that were there are going to come and tell us. We're going to hear about it. When did this happen?
This happened early in the week. I believe it may have happened either over the weekend or Monday, if I'm not mistaken. But there's videos, it's videos out there, showing exactly what happened. And the mainstream media totally edited the videos. They did not show how the brawl started. They did not show the Russian man smacking the black guy, and that's how it started. They put out what they wanted the public to see, and what they saw was the aftermath. You saw a group of black folks stumping this man out. They stumped him out, beat his ass
But
down. White woman got knocked out too, who tried to jump in to help him.
well, I kind of see it as I feel like white people have a sense of entitlement and always have. I'm probably not the best, even though I got white friends. Um, I got other views as a black woman. And so I don't want to make that public yet, but um I just feel like, white people when they drink, there is a difference. I'm not saying that black people don't become belligerent, but they want
They
to
get it.
fight.
They get a little braver.
Yeah, they want to fight.
Yeah.
And they
Than
want
what they
to
would normally
challenge
do.
somebody. Yeah, they want to challenge, and especially us. There was a time when we could do nothing about it but take it. But times are different now.
Right.
And we ain't trying to start none, but we will show up.
Right.
We'll show up to a fight.
Okay,
So
Kiera, I want to bring you in and ask you that
yeah,
same question. I don't know if you were familiar with what happened with that brawl out in Cincinnati, but give us your opinion, give us your thoughts on that situation. Do you think that the police was wrong for not doing their full due diligence on watching the video and seeing who started the incident, the whole brawl? Because like I said in the beginning, there's videos out there of the white man who actually smacked this black man who actually started the brawl. So we just cleaned the shit up. We didn't start it. We cleaned that mess up. So give me your opinion on what you thought, how that situation could have been handled differently, or give me your opinion on the situation in general.
I mean, it go back to just like childhood times, like when we was in school. It ain't never necessarily the first person who always get caught. It's the person who react that get caught. So what your
Wow.
mama teach you? You gotta learn how to react and get your lick off without getting caught. So what it is like people so enraged and like she said, people so fed up and so enraged that people just react. And right now it just seems like it's cool to just beat somebody ass because they disrespected you. But
yeah,
all in all, it's a way to handle it. You know what I'm saying? So when the police show up, the police job is to just diffuse the situation. And y'all the motherfuckers that they see right now when they pull up being aggressive and they already scared of us, what you think they gonna do? And that's what I
mhm,
mean by you gotta be smarter with the situation. It ain't
mhm,
take all of y'all to beat this nigga ass. It took one
mhm.
nigga that was disrespected to handle the person who disrespected him. Now, if it
Yeah,
got out of line from there, then they got out of line. But then when the police come and they see a whole bunch of outraged ass niggas, as they say, and they already scared because they know they can't handle us, they gonna just do their job, which is to diffuse the situation. They don't ask no questions. Just like when you go somewhere, you don't ask no questions. You
Right.
whoop ass and
mhm.
ask questions later.
Yeah, because the media totally turned the situation around. They made it look like that the blacks that were out there started to fight like we were unruly, out of control, which totally was not the case. But Dave, give me your opinion on this situation. How the how this whole scenario went down. With this Russian smacking the black guy. And then the main media trying to turn it around, making it seem like the blacks that were out there started this whole situation.
Well, they always gonna show us what they want us to see. You know what I'm saying? We never gonna really know what happened unless we was there. But at the end of the day, you can't tell a person how to react when you put your hands on them. If it took 10 niggas on one white boy fucking, that's what his ass get. Cause they got a habit of thinking they can do what the fuck they want to niggas because they've been getting away with whooping on niggas' ass because they know they got the law behind them. They know they got Donald Trump behind them. They know they got the government behind them. And they've been doing this for years. Like
Facts.
in Alabama, they put their hands on that man for no reason. He didn't do shit to them. And when that
They
ball
told him to move.
that
He
shit
told him to move. They
started
go.
whooping ass. And
Mhm.
niggas gotta start whooping ass. See, this ain't Birmingham when you walk down marching and they spitting on you and sicking dogs on you and spraying you with water hose. This ain't them times no more. Niggas tired.
Right. Now I want to
Yeah,
ask all. I want to ask. Go ahead, DJ.
but no, there's gotta be, a because okay, so as the law goes, you can't show excessive force. So that means that if a person pushes you, you can't just shoot the shit out of them, and unload the clip. It has to match the energy almost as far as the law goes. So
That's
if somebody pushed me or smacked me, I can't just automatically shoot them. So I'm with Kiera. Like one person could have beat them up, especially if they was drunk, and then if somebody else come in, then somebody else come in. That's how it could have been. But now you just don't know. Everybody got weapons, everybody got some, so they stomped him out so that he wouldn't be a threat later and they could get the fuck out of there. I get it. I do. It's a tricky situation.
Listen, and they stumped his motherfucking ass out, and they were all found, all five of the black people that were arrested, were facial recognized, by social media, and that's how they found everybody. But I want to ask all you guys this question, and I want to say what up to Gordon Weatherspoon. He's joining us, over here on the What Up Doe Show. What's good with you, my guy? But yeah, I want to ask you all. I want to ask all you guys this question: do you think, with all this police brutality that's been going on, with all the blacks that's been getting murdered and beat, do you think this is some type of race war? They're setting up for a race war.
Well, first of all, Gordon is muted. I don't think we can hear him. So, because
Yeah,
he
he
has
muted. He got himself muted. He's gonna have to unmute himself.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
can you
and I was asked this question: do you think, with all the police brutality that's been going on, and all the black people that's been unjustly murdered, do you think this is setting up for some type of race war? And I'm gonna start with you, DJ Shiny D.
I do. I think that this is all to ignite. You know, they want us to be mad right now. Like I think that white people really thought that when they sent the immigrants home that we was gonna be running to the fields to work the fields. Like this is how I think their brain thinks.
Right.
Uh, I think that white people are generally afraid of black people. That's like Kiera said. That's where the control comes from. The entitlement comes from, because they feel like, especially this administration is on their side. But you got to realize that that administration ain't in the streets, and motherfuckers is going motherfuckers in your face is gonna stomp you out before anybody
What's going
so
on, G?
Yeah.
oh, we can hear him now. He's
I can hear
unmuted.
you now.
Hey,
So
Gordon.
say what's up, Belt.
That's about.
Well, I don't. I'm actually mute him because I don't think he still can hear us. His background is
Yeah, they all like
but
that.
yeah, and I'm asking you that same question, Dave. Do you think, with all this police brutality that we've been seeing throughout the country, is leading up to a race war?
I mean, it's been like that for years. We just starting to see it a little bit more because all the cameras, everybody records everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's been leading up for a race war for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have all the social media, we have all these cameras, you got ring camera, phone cameras, cameras on street light poles. At the end of the day, we starting to see a little bit more of it. But it's been going on. It's been leading up to that for a very long time. They showed us that when Trump first got in office, when the whites went and bought all the ammunition, all of it.
I
Right.
couldn't find a bullet nowhere.
Well,
No,
it's been like that for the last, I'll say, 8 years. It's
all
hard to even find certain bullets, like nine
yeah,
millimeter, nine millimeter bullets. It's hard to find
all,
those, But yeah,
all
and I'll give my opinion on that. I definitely think, with all the shootings and the beatings and the unjustified homicide that we've been seeing, I think it's setting up for a racial war. I think black folks are at their wits' end from seeing what we've been seeing the last, I'll just say, since we've been here in this country. You know what I mean? Since we've been born, I should say. But the last 10 years has just been, an onslaught of unjustified, in my opinion, homicides, with the police, with police murdering and shooting unarmed black men and women. And we can go back to the situation where you had the woman where she actually called the police out.
Right.
And we
they
talked
shot
about
her.
this situation, Dave, and she had a pot of boiling water on the stove, and they asked her to turn the stove off, and they end up shooting this woman in the head. You know what I mean? And and these officers did not get charged with that crime
did have no reason to shoot her in the head.
at all.
None whatsoever. The crazy thing, not cutting anyone off, the crazy thing, because didn't we do a show on this?
Yeah.
The crazy thing is the one cop He's checking the car just to make sure the car is legit. The other cop, while he's checking the car, eases in the house. So why was he easing in the house? He was up to something. He was up to something. He eased up on that woman and started asking this woman questions. Regardless what she said to him, there was no need to shoot her in the head. So he came.
I'm gonna just shoot you in the face.
Yeah, he came to do harm because my thing is if she said if they checked the house and seen no one broke in the windows, no forced entries, now they check in the car, they see she got some kind of mental issue.
Exactly.
Sneak in the house.
See, and that's what I wanted to say too, Dave. They were out there earlier. They knew that this woman had mental issues and mental things going on. You know what I mean? This woman showed no harm, no threat to them at all. You know, these men, and the one officer actually said it. You know, he told her, he said, "I'm going to shoot you in your head." You know, and did exactly what he said he was going to do. You know, but this woman showed no threat to these officers, and they still end up taking this woman's life. You know, so I most definitely think you know, once we get to the point where we want to fight back, that's when the war is going to start. You know what I mean? You know, because right now, it's they've already started this war. You know, it's just we have to catch up with them. You know, but I'm gonna move on. You know, if you guys have anything else to add to that, add to it. You know, if not, go ahead.
I will say this. I want to watch what I say.
Go ahead. Speak your mind.
We don't want no problems, but I would say this: there's no reason that a George Zimmerman that shot Trayvon Martin should still be alive and walking the streets.
Listen,
and you got all these YNs and ONs that are claiming this they hood and this they neighborhood and this that, and they willing to fight over a block that they don't own shit on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen.
So where y'all at? Where y'all at?
Yeah, exactly. You know how many conversations me and Dave don't had about that. You know, and it starts. You know, these are supposed to be the street hood niggas. You know what I mean? Out there. You know, there's no reason why that man should still be walking around free to this day. You know what I mean? All the so-called and I'm not and let me say this first and foremost. I'm not promoting violence. You know, but
not at all.
You know,
just talking facts and the
yeah,
facts.
you know, sometimes situations like that situation need to be held with hood justice, and not once have any black person stepped up to justify that situation. You know, so and I agree with DJ Shiny D. You know, most of us are just all talk. You know, we blowing smoke up motherfuckers' asses.
Yeah,
but we can't just go out and shoot the fuck out of a white man. We cannot. It has to be strategic. It has to be undercover. It has to be a covert mission.
Right.
Because
you know, and that mission should have been over with years ago. You know,
because we can't beat them with guns.
No, that most definitely. You know, me and Dave had this conversation, you know, and that's a conversation that, you know, that we're definitely going to talk about and discuss. You know, we definitely can't beat them with guns, you know, because, and I'll just say this and then I'll move on. You know, not once have we built any type of defense to be able to stop the onslaught of what, you know, what can or what they can do to us. You know, but that's another story. That's another situation.
No, but I say that you need to have at least 2,000 to 3,000 rounds of ammunition per weapon.
I agree.
That's what you need to have. Because they have been planning for this. They have been planning for this all their life.
Yeah.
See, we have not. We got guns. Everybody got a gun. But nobody has 2,000 to 3,000. I ain't gonna say nobody, but a lot of people,
you know, the average person doesn't have 2,000 to 3,000 rounds. You know, the average nigga will run out in a few clips. He's done. He's out of ammo.
You know what we do? Every New Year's we show how many guns we got. So
we waste all our bullets New Year's.
Right. So the thing is, like y'all said about George Zimmerman, I mean, he should never be able to walk streets where
Not be comfortable. He shouldn't be comfortable.
he should never no white man who's murdered any black teenager or kid should be able to walk no street, especially not an urban neighborhood.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
and these motherfuckers are patrolling our neighborhoods, you know,
Yeah.
and walking through them like shit is sweet. You know, George Zimmerman still walking through that same neighborhood
You
that
better
he
believe it.
killed
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin in, you know, and no one has stepped up to do a thing, you know. But I'm gonna move on to another conversation, you know, that I know you know, a lot of people has been talking about, you know, let's talk about this Shannon Sharpe situation for a second, you know, and I called it, Big Dave. You know, this was a situation where a lot of people were saying that he should have paid this woman the money that he should have settled with this woman to be able to get ahead and shut her down so he can be able to retain his job at ESPN and then still be able to retain the endorsements. Well, now, as we know, a few days ago, ESPN announced that they let Shannon Sharpe go and he was fired. You know, and Shannon Sharpe announced it himself. You know, so my question to you guys is, to me, he looks like he's hypocritical. He looks like a total ass. He did not stand on business in that situation, and he just blew 22 million to a woman that he did not rape. You know, so I need for you guys to give me your opinion on this situation. You know, this man said, and we clearly knew it was a shakedown. My question to you guys is, what do you think about this situation? ESPN fired him. A lot of people, he was advised by his lawyer to settle. So therefore, he can still get the endorsements that was due to come to him, which was close to up to $100 million, and then also still be able to keep his job with ESPN. But to me, I don't even think the endorsement is going to come through. So DJ Shiny D, give me your opinion on that whole situation.
Well, to be honest, I don't really know a lot about this because I'm not one that really keeps up with Shannon Sharpe. But any black man with any kind of revenue, if you're still messing with white women, you get what you got and it coming to you. So I really don't feel sorry for him. I don't give a fuck about him. I really don't because you make money off of black people. You know what I mean? Like you on ESPN, but your podcast makes millions off of black people. I ain't seen a white person on it yet. So the thing about it is, first of all, come on out because you gay as fuck to me. Like that's how you look to me. So stop fronting, like like you banging hoes all the time. You're not. But pick a side, nigga. Like I'm gonna need you. I don't know. I can't do the flip flopping, and I also can't do the Uncle Tom. So I can't. You can't make money off of us and then date white women.
Right.
So I don't
Exactly.
I don't fuck with him at all, and I'm not entertained. I like the Cat Williams interview, but
And,
I
and
ain't
I
watched
and
the
I
show.
and I was getting ready to ask you about that. I know you saw the Cat Williams interview. Did you see
Yeah,
the Monique interview? She
I did.
warned him. She told him. She said, "Leave the white women alone." She told him. She said, "Get with a black sister, that can take care of you, and just want you for you." She said, "Leave the white women alone." He ignored it. Listen, he was forewarned by Monique and Cat Williams before all this went down. He ignored everything he said. He said he's going to date on his money scale.
Okay, well then, guess what? And maybe when he has less money, he'll start dating black women or something. I don't know, or black men. I don't know. But I don't feel sorry for him at all. So I guess that's why I didn't pay that much attention because I don't give a fuck about him or either. And people get mad at me for saying that shit,
Why?
but they get mad at me because they feel like I
Why?
should not talk about a black man
Man,
like.
nobody want to hear that shit.
But my thing is that black man ain't choosing nobody that look like me, nobody in
Man,
my neighborhood, like none of that.
Shine,
So it doesn't matter to me either way.
Shiny D, tell them niggas to kiss your ass. Because at the
I'm
end
not
of
gonna do that. I can't do that.
the
I'm
day,
not made that way.
they
So,
need to
mm-mm.
shut the hell
You
up.
got a list. I can't even listen to you for real because you got a whole list. Ain't nobody paying attention to. Like, it's just something about him that's weird.
Yeah, and I'm
He's
gonna ask you that
weird.
same question, Big Dave. Give us your opinion on your take on this whole scenario on what went down. He settled with the woman, thinking that he was going to be able to keep his job with ESPN. They end up firing him. No signing of these $100 million endorsements yet, thus far.
I mean, at the end of the day, his money, his money, he gonna date on his money scale. The white girl is a poor white trash. Um, he was going to her apartment like a fool. But like I said, you can't you don't know what a person would do when somebody make their toes curl. So whatever was going on, she playing with his bud or whatever the hell was going on. He just messed up his whole career because everybody knows ESPN is racist. They don't like niggas anyway. They got rid of Jalen Rose for no reason. So what makes you think that they was gonna keep Shannon Sharp's job? I don't care what his lawyer told him. Everybody knew once he caught that case, he was never coming back on ESPN. You know how many niggas ESPN then fired?
And that's a
Janelle
fact.
Janelle Hill, she talked about Trump. They fired her for no reason.
And I went to school with her.
A black woman for no reason. You got black women that fight hard to be sport commentators on ESPN, and somehow they find a way to get rid of their ass, but keep the white ones
Yeah,
survive.
and I want to give a special shout out to Jamel Hill. I went to school with her. She graduated in '95. I graduated in '94. But yeah, you hit it right on the nose, man. They look for reasons to fire,
Yeah,
black men and women. Because
yeah.
it's been proven, it's been shown. But go ahead, Big Dave. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's cool. We having a conversation, but dig this. Let's look at all these sport channels. Fuck just ESPN. Let's go all the way out with it. NFL Network, Fox 2, ESPN. Every nigga that's been accused of something, even when they won, they still didn't hire him back. Michael Irvin, he's not on NFL Network no more. He got fired off first take. He never got back his job. Remember,
And after it was proven that the lady lied, the white woman lied on him.
they didn't give him his job back.
Right.
Go even further. Remember, old boy from Tampa Bay, Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
Got
he lost his job.
stuff down there. They fired him, and he never was found guilty. We can go even further. We can just keep Marshall. I can't even get all the names of so many of them. All these sports stations are made for white boys, but they let niggas in because niggas run sports.
Fact.
Yeah, but if niggas keep going back, like we got to start at the beginning of the story. Once upon a time, niggas knew these news stations were racist, and they went anyway because the check was fire. You know what I mean? So let's take it there. So you heard about it's just like the white women that went to Bill Cosby house. They heard that he had all the drug and he was drugging bitches, and they still went because he was Bill Cosby. He was Bill Cosby. So you talking about Brandon Marshall. So what I'm saying is, you take a chance when you get to a certain level and you think that a white woman is some status because it's an equation. It's an equation. As soon as you get paid, white women are there
Yeah.
because they know that all they have to do is cater to your needs, cater to your ego, and look good themselves, and you gonna go. You know what I mean? Because you ain't never had that fight like that
And,
before.
and these dumb, stupid niggas fall for the banana
Yeah.
in the tailpipe every
Every
time.
time.
Yeah, so I really don't feel sorry. If Shannon Sharp did any of that, whether it was consensual or not, if she can prove it, then that nigga is done.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
Listen,
Talk
they
to
did not come. She didn't come. They didn't come after him with
no criminal.
criminal
No,
charges. It was just
Okay.
civil charges. They
Because
just wanted the money.
civil is gonna pay you. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Well,
that's what it's about.
That's all it was
What
about.
well,
it's-
Sean D, you have every right to feel that way, and that's
yeah.
cool. But at the end of the day, you're right. I've been saying this for years. Every time these motherfuckers money, they just got to have a saltine in their corner. They want, and then the first thing when the saltine get tired of them, they go get lowered up. See, they don't go get Kendra. They don't go get Deshaun. They don't go get Kim and get Kim no millions. See, because Kim gonna play the game. See, they don't want Kim to have the thing. See, they want these white girls because they think they can control them. And see, these white girls will get controlled, and then they go right to the lawyers while they playing with them and set them up every damn time. That's like Kobe Bryant. I love him to death. One of the greatest. What made him thought that was cool to go do what he did with that trash? Why?
I mean, because it is still in slavery mentality to me. Because during slavery, white women would seduce black slaves, especially the Mandingos, the more prominent black men.
Right.
They would seduce them, and then when it was found out, they would be so embarrassed. Then they would say he raped them. So to me, it never changed. It has never changed. It's always been the same. Nobody that isn't white should trust white people. I'm sorry. There have been now don't get me wrong, there are white people that have helped me before black people would. There have been white people in my life and they are still in my life. And I don't want them to be offended by that. But I'm talking about as a black
Oh, you
person,
right.
because I'm black first.
Right.
So, as a black person, there is no other race that has done more damage to this planet and its people than white people. It's in their fabric. You don't have to own slaves now to still have an entitlement in your race. You feel like there was a white lady that walked right into me and bumped me like I was standing right there, minding my own business, and she just walked into me and bumped me. And
Right.
she was like, I didn't see you. So when she said that, it just rang in my head. They don't see us. They don't see us as equal. We're not equal to them. They could be friends with us, but we still don't equal them. So if you take your black money and you form a union with this white woman who only came around because you were a good football player in high school or whatever. She don't give a fuck about you. And the minute that you do anything that she can prove, she's going to take your money.
And see, and what we saying, not trying to cut you off, Dane, before
No,
you
go
ask the
ahead.
question. This is not what we saying. We're not saying you can't like a white person. We're not saying you can't fall in love with a white woman. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is we talking about facts. What our race always do when we get money, we go right to Becky,
Mhm.
put her on our arm. You don't
Mhm.
go to the black girl. You go straight to Becky. And we ain't trying to be funny, but name 5 black women that got rich off a black man that got money from
I
getting
could,
lawyers about rape.
I know I could. Juanita Jordan, Shawnee O'Neal. Give me a second now. I could think of some. Like
It's
I
hard
could think of some. No, I mean it really isn't because whenever there is a man with money, that's going to attract women. And so it's just something about the black men that feel like this white woman is a status symbol for them.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose,
You know,
DJ Shawnee D.
That's
yeah, so they get that, and then they feel like they big and bad, and and look, to each his own. Like I ain't saying, I'm just saying this is my own lowly opinion, but I do feel like you should never forget who got you there,
Yeah.
and most of the time it was a black woman, a black man. that got you that money. And I always feel like you got to listen to your parents sometimes because they know, especially that black mama is present and in your life. I'm not saying because some mamas they feel like they the woman in their man in their son's life, so they don't want them with nobody for real that they don't approve of. But
Right.
we saying like outside of that, like you gotta remember you should find love in your blackness. And if you don't and you get money, you gonna go right for a white woman because you have a problem with the blackness in you, and that's just all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and you hit it right on the nose. Look, and this goes back to what you were saying earlier. It goes back to that slavery mentality. When black men get a certain amount of money or status, it gives and they do this to try to show off to other black men that look, I've made it. With this white woman on my arm is to show that, if they've made it and they're in another status than what you are you know, and what only thing that they're doing and what Shannon Sharp did, he just changed the dynamics of that white woman's family. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's all that they're doing. And it starts from when they're in college. It always seems like you have these white women and also, once they get into the league, white people attaching their selves to our dominant and prominent, athletes, it definitely needs to change. This definitely should be a lesson, to the next upcoming athletes, whether you're an athlete, or singer or entertainer or whatnot, you sees what happened when you think the grass is greener, you know what I mean? Because sometimes the grass is not greener. It's been an ongoing situation where, men date and step out of their race, and they end up paying with their pocketbooks in the end. So I'm gonna let you
But
add
do
on
you
that,
think
Big Dave, and then we can move on to another subject.
It's
well,
just
I want to finish. I want to talk
Go
about
ahead.
this.
at the
Okay, go ahead, Big Dave.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's a trend. It's gonna keep going. We see
Yeah,
it all the time. That's just like people leaving their kids in the hot car. It's gonna keep happening.
I'm gonna fix me a drink. Y'all keep it going then.
Yeah, that's just like
Nigga, do you think?
people leaving weapons around and kids getting a hold to or killing themselves. It's gonna keep happening. We won't stop, but it won't stop because it's just a lot of people that just don't think like they should think. And as far as these black guys that always think they need Becky when they get that money, it's just a trend. It's just a trend. And it's really all about control, Shawnee. It's all about control, DJ. Shawnee. It's
Well,
all control because see, they think that a white girl would do what the black girl won't. See, they
mhm.
feel like they don't want to put up with the LaQuisha because LaQuisha talk too much and she ain't gonna do what he want when he want it. See, that white girl is gonna be permissive and she gonna do what he want, but she has the agenda behind it. See, he
Right.
don't
That's the
trust
problem.
LaQuisha because he think LaQuisha is wild and ghetto. He thinks
Mhm.
white girl is prancy and he can control her and get every freaking move he want out of her. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that a man with money wants something that's less of a problem. He wants a girl that is easygoing because his life is probably stressful enough. So, white women tend to be more easygoing. So, nobody's not saying that they don't understand, but so I was talking to my therapist, and my therapist said, have you ever thought about dating a white man? Hmm. So
And what
guess
color
what?
was your therapist? Sorry about that.
He's black. He's a black guy.
Okay.
But he just was saying, like, think outside of the box. Like, have you ever thought about dating outside of your race? He didn't say really a white guy, but outside of your race. And when I thought about it, because I thought about it for days, when I thought about it, I'm like, well, if most black people have the same kind of trauma, Like, a lot of us, and not all of us, but some of us have daddy issues. We have abandonment issues. We have colorism issues. We have weight issues. We have hair issues. All of these things have should we be thinking about maybe somebody that does not come from the same trauma, especially if we as individuals aren't actively working on ourselves in therapy and finding out where these things are coming from. We are all maneuvering through life off the same childhood trauma. The
Well,
girls have been touched, by somebody. You know what I mean? There's just
right.
things there that cause us to be so outwardly spoken. So most black women that I know that are dating a white man that are average class, middle class, they are pretty damn happy.
Okay. Yeah. See, and look, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I agree with him on to a certain extent. I think everyone should at least experience dating outside of their race when they're younger. Therefore you get that experience, or you get that that you get that chance to know that
You get
other culture, that other person. You know what I mean? And even as an adult, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with dating outside your race too, but I say you should try it earlier. Maybe in your teens or your 20s. But at the end of the day, do whatever makes you
So why
happy.
does that matter?
If
Why does age matter? Like why
um,
well, let me
now I
tell
can't
y'all,
decide
y'all
that I
this.
want to
well,
change up things.
Well, I just say, try to date, because when you're young, you're just in a dating stage, and that's what I mean.
Your thing
Really age is just a matter. I mean, it's not age is just a number. It doesn't matter what age, but the reason why I said a young age is because that's the time when you're dating and you're trying to find yourself and just trying to find your mate.
know,
But in an adult situation, there's nothing wrong with that neither. Because um you may be able to find love that you wasn't able
I,
to find in a black man, so but I'm not going to say I'm against that. I think we should date in our race, but at the end of the day, if he makes you happy, I'm all good for it.
well, let's get real with it. Let's get real with it. You should want to date within your race, but sometimes, like you said, it starts at a young age because I dated outside my race. A white girl from the hood, and she didn't act like a white girl. She don't really look complete like a white girl. But at the end of the day, she's a white girl, and that's the
Right.
worst I ever had. The worst mistake I ever made in my life. But I was younger. You know what I'm saying? But I was there too long. It caused me all kinds of problems. I ain't trying to be funny. And I got two kids out of it, but it was the worst shit I ever did. The kid's not a mistake, but that was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. And I'm not judging white women like they're all are bad, but I think I take my chances with the sisters.
But
See,
do you base a whole race off of what you that one person
No,
though? Is that fair?
it's not that I'm basing a whole race off the one person, but what I'm starting to see and what I learn is sometimes when you're dealing with somebody different like that, some things come out of them that you thought you would never hear. See, it was some things that came out that I thought I would never hear from this person. And you got black kids now. And you still saying some of these things you shouldn't have never said. And you work with all black people. Damn. And you saying things you should never say. So what that showed me is they all 9 out of 10 got that in them.
Well, they white first.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what I mean? They white first.
Yeah, that's and see, man, I mean, man, we didn't did some stuff. I mean, she didn't call me some names, and I didn't call her names in bed. It just, it's the wildest, dumbest shit in the world. But at the end of the day, like I said, I was young. I thought that was cool because she seemed to be a nice person. She seemed to be a good person. And sometimes your heart leans towards something that seems good for you.
all
And
right.
then when you find out it ain't, sometimes it's hard to get out of it because breakups is always hard.
Right.
So after that, no knock to white women. I'm not saying I can never like a white woman. I ain't saying I can never deal with a white woman. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I prefer, if I'm going to be with someone, it be my own race.
Right. See, and I'm glad you said that, because I also dated a white woman. Well, saw a white woman and I experienced that, in college, and it was a decent experience. I didn't have and I didn't get to the point where, you name some of the things, issues that you had with your girl, Dave, but what made me stop left what made me leave that situation is just I felt awkward out in public. I felt like everyone was staring at me and shit. You know what I mean? And I just totally felt like, that's how I felt. So I felt out of place. And I didn't want her to think that, I was trying to hide her from my peoples or whatnot, because I did some, it was crazy. I want to get off into some of the things that, I would do, because it probably would hurt her heart if she saw this, but you know what? Okay, I'll put it out like this, and we dated in college. She would come and pick me up and we would always go to Canada, and we would just leave total.
Out the hood.
Yeah,
So this is
she
what
would
we
pick me up
do.
from out in Toledo, and we would drive all the way to Canada every weekend.
And that's my thing. Like you could have really missed out. I mean, thank God for your relationship now. But I'm
Right.
just saying you really could have missed out
Yeah.
on something good because of the image you thought you were portraying in your neighborhood because black people will give you the heat.
No,
Yeah,
they
they
And
will. They
and
will.
yeah, they will.
And it listen, and it wasn't even the image that I thought that I cared about other people thinking. It was just me just being out in public. It just made me feel some type of way, but in Canada where it was acceptable, I was cool with it. You know what I
Did,
mean?
did y'all know Detroit not city that where races join? Detroit is known as one of the worst races with blacks on whites and whites on blacks. Um, we're not one of those cities where everybody gets together and different races get together. It's happening, but we're not one of them cities that's known for that. You know what I'm saying?
No, at all, because I can only remember maybe one or two white people from elementary to high school. We would have to go outside of the city, you know, um,
define white
like
girl.
fire, yeah, the
Yeah.
fine white folks,
See,
you
this is
know.
this, and not trying to take over the conversation, but at the end of the day, Shawnee D, DJ Shawnee D, is
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not knocking that race because I had a lot of good times with her. And I thought it was something special, but I never thought about marrying her because every time this is a problem with black men, period. I can't speak for white men, but I can speak for black men. And our problem is when we meet somebody that we think we equal with, and when we get to know them, we start to have problems with them. We see the things that we really don't like, but we having so much fun, we ignore it. You see red flags and you throw white flags up, surrender flags. And then you go deeper and deeper and deeper into this relationship, and then both of y'all are scarred. And then you have children, they are scarred because you kept this relationship going longer than you should have, and you seen the red flags. And that's a problem with us as black men.
Yeah, yeah, and at the end of the day, DJ Shiny D, um, look, if you found a white man that made you happy and gave you everything that a black man couldn't do for you,
Not that
there's
black
none
men
there's
can't.
nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say like at the end of the
Gotta
day,
go.
of course we would want to see you happy, and with a black man, but at the end of the day, I would love just to see you happy, no matter who it's with. You know what I
I,
mean?
I think where my therapist was coming from was that because I have a preference I love black men. I
Right.
love being in their presence. I love to talk to, just have conversation. I could tell a black man he is beautiful. And I don't want to get with you. I just love black men.
Right. Yeah.
So I've kind of always been stuck there, you
Right.
know.
Now,
Um,
how do you think you would feel? Now let's ask that question. Say, for instance, if you did meet a white man, and you end up liking him, how do you think you would handle that situation? Do you think you would feel like how I felt like out in public around your I'm not gonna say your peers, but around your peoples?
Let me say this. I'm always gonna be nervous to take him home because my family got jokes all day. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You know niggas gonna
And that's
crack
how
on
it's
you.
gonna be, yeah. But I can say this. It couldn't be just an average white man. He would have
Okay.
to have some flavor. He would
Right.
have to
Yeah.
have something special about him because I don't really see me relating to them because
Okay.
I got black issues and I can't always explain it to you. I sometimes prefer somebody that kind of knows and I could just start my conversation. But I do feel like there are not enough black men actively working on themselves.
Okay.
And we all have trauma. We all have trauma.
We do. Yeah.
So if you're not
All
actively working on yourself as a black man, and I'm going to therapy every Tuesday, you know what I mean? Like, and not because I'm crazy, but just because I want to move forward, and I want to not carry this childhood baggage with me.
All right.
You know what I mean? Going into my future. So I need techniques, and I need plans in place that if I'm triggered by something, I know how to kind of maneuver around it without coming off as the angry black woman,
All
what
right.
everybody typically thinks of. So I don't think that white men will understand that at all, and I would have to do a lot of explaining. But with the black women that I know that actively date or are married to a white man right now, the white man kind of just lets her be the black woman.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
what I was going to
Because
ask you. I was going to ask you that question, because the black woman
y'all
that I see that dates white woman kind of takes on the culture of the white man. She totally changed up how I'm not going to say how she talks, but I'm going to say she changed up how she talks,
now, see, I don't see that.
how she her whole attitude,
Yeah, I
um,
see
just
that.
everything in general.
I don't see that at all. I see
Mm,
a white man that kind of sits back and lets her be her. You know what I mean? And they kind of chalk it up to, okay, it's a black thing. And he just doesn't understand. So white men will let her be like she is. A white man most of the time will, you know, and she's not angry because she's happy. He's there. He's taking care of, you know what I mean? Like he's there for
Hey,
her.
hey,
So
that's crazy that you said that shit because she happy. So what? The nigga can't make her
she
happy?
happy. Yeah, she happy. So there is nothing like a black woman that is happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, hey,
You know
listen,
what I
that's
mean?
saying a lot.
Yes, and we just don't see that often. But when you see it, it is a beautiful thing, and it doesn't matter if it's a white
Right. Now,
man or a
now
black.
can you say that you see this with black men dating white women?
Well, I can say that. I can say that most of the black men that I know that are average, we're not talking about with money and
Right.
fame and fortune. We're talking about a postal
That's
worker
average
that's
people.
married to, yeah,
Right.
that's married to a white woman. Most of the time, they are happy. It is the people around them, their black culture, that has a problem with it. It is the
Right.
white culture that has a problem with him. So, or her, or whatever, but the black, they have a problem with that. So, as a couple, they have some obstacles to get through on both sides.
Right.
I do think.
Listen,
But together,
right.
they're
I
happy.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Because and I can get my testimony. Well, I've gave my testimony on that. I allowed, what I thought others would think of me, dating this white woman. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
I never really gave it a real chance at
Mhm.
all.
And what is
Because like I
unfair?
said, I'm a guy that thinks, I try to date within my race first, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong, because I have family members that's dating, Caucasian men, and I have friends that dates Caucasian women. You know what I mean? And I don't, at the end of the day, love who loves you. You know what I mean? If you find joy and
Right,
love in this person that treats you and
right,
it makes you feel good, then go for that. That's what I'm
right.
for, because at the end of the day, you only live once.
Well, that's what I can say is that as far as a comfort level, I'm more comfortable around black men because that's what I know. That's what I've been around all my life. With
Yeah.
a white man, it would take some learning. Like
Right. I mean,
I,
can you imagine laying in the bed naked
I
next to a
cannot,
white man?
I can, I cannot. I don't know. Like I don't know. They smell funny. I
Right.
once asked a white guy. So me and a white guy were friends in college,
Right.
and he said to me, he said, "Do we really smell like wet dogs when we get wet?"
Did you keep it
So
real with him,
I
DJ
said,
Shiny
"Yeah."
D?
I said, "Yes."
Right.
I said, you do, or bologna. You know what I mean?
Right.
Y'all like bologna sometimes.
Oscar Mayer, baby.
I said, "Well, what do we smell like?" He said, "Hair products."
I mean, that's a good thing.
Hey, I couldn't do nothing but respect that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
yeah,
good thing.
yeah, we smell.
Um,
We do smell like it.
and listen, I'm gonna say this. I think normally, and I hate, and I'm gonna keep it real. I I hate to see a black woman with a white man, but at the end of the day, I think
But why is that more so than a
I
black
don't know. I
man than
think
a woman?
I don't know. It's just something that's built in us, But I think at the end of the day, if you see a white man dating a black girl, he must really likes her to be able to. I'm not going to say to put up and deal with, some of the cultural differences that that may be challenging for him, and just getting to appreciate and understand who she is as a woman. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. The way you just said that bothered me.
No,
And
that's
not
why I
in the
tried to break it
anger
down. I said
level. Yeah,
I
I get it. But did
I
you
I, I
hear what
tried
he
I tried to
said?
butter it up a little bit.
But even
So
just
okay, well, tell me
to
how it
me,
bothered you,
okay, so I'm gonna say this
because
that
I
I
tried to
feel
butter it
like
up.
some black men have a disdain for black women. They love them. They play with them. They marry them. They have kids by them. But there is a disdain for them because what you just said was, he must really love her to put up with her. That those were your words.
No, no, I'm saying the stereo. This listen. Well, I apologize if I came off that way. I'm saying the stereotype and the stigma that um I'm just going to be real, that black woman carries. And I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. And let me rephrase that. Then it definitely. I don't know how to. I'm not going to say I don't know
But
how to
you know,
rephrase that.
because especially when you have a double standard for black men that do the same thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, but no,
So
at the end of the day, look, I don't see anything wrong with no one dating outside their race.
yeah,
If
yeah,
that person makes you happy and do the things that um makes you feel good and that loves you for you, I'm all for it. So don't get it twisted.
yeah.
At the end of the day, I
It's about
am, black on black, but look, I listen, love comes in all different kinds of shapes,
it,
colors, and everything. It don't
it
just come in
does.
black.
It does. And you gotta, if the end goal is to be happy, then to me, whatever race makes you happy, to me, there's no problem with it. For me, and because to me, there's nothing more beautiful than black love. There is
That's a
nothing
fact.
like when they are happy and they are working together and they're both present. There is an energy that comes off of that relationship. you
Right.
know.
See, and that's
But
all I'm saying at the end of the day. I would love to see you with a black man. Not
I
saying that,
would
at the end of the
do.
day,
I would
I want
do.
to see, even if you were ended up with a white man, at the end of the day, I just would love to see you happy.
But I'm gonna tell you this though, and I appreciate that, and I really do. But I'm gonna tell you this at this point because my therapist wants me to be with somebody. My problem is like I think I'm becoming asexual. Like
What color is
wh-
your therapist?
he's black. He's a black guy. Yeah, he's a black guy. Right. I think I'm becoming asexual because I've never liked women at all. But even black men are work. It's work. It's work. And I kind of, I don't, it's like sometimes I just don't want the extra headache. Like, I don't know if that
Wow.
makes sense. Like, I want companionship. Like, I
See,
think
now
a
you know
person,
what? Now let me pause. Cause
yeah,
you just stopped me. You stopped me on
go ahead, go
yeah, you
ahead.
gave me the same goddamn scenario with black women, and then you turn around and do the same goddamn thing, DJ
I'm
Shiny
talking
D.
about men, period.
All
I'm
right.
talking about
Yeah, that's
men,
me too.
period. Seem like work, especially when you are actively working on yourself. And a lot of people are not. It's hard to connect with somebody who has trauma, who has issues, and not working on it. And so to me, it kind of depletes for me
Right.
because I'm actively trying to become something better.
Right.
And and I can't get with you and you still stuck in your teenage years. Like I can't, it's hard for me to connect with that. And black
Right.
men are refusing to go to therapy. They
Yeah.
don't do
Well,
therapy.
well, look, at the end of the day, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. These are the type of conversations that we have over here at the What Up Though Show. You got your girl DJ Shiny D,
We
and I
talking
got
shit.
my boy Real Talk with Big Dave over here joining us. It's definitely been a good conversation and a good show. First and foremost, I just want to tell both of you guys that, I love y'all, because this day's supposed to have started off one way and ended it going another way, but it's been a good conversation, a great talk with both of you guys. I don't have anything else to add. I don't want to hold you guys up too long. It's been a great talk, a great conversation. Big Dave, let everybody know what you got going on where they can reach you.
Well, up and coming podcaster, you can reach me at YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Real Talk Wit, WIT, Big Dave, and on Facebook, Big Dave Crawford.
There we go. There we go. DJ Shiny D. Let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach you.
I'm about to be like this right now. That's what's wrong with me. Like this.
Let
Ain't
them know where they
nothing.
can get that shea butter from.
Oh yeah, okay, yes. You can reach me at Shay Gloss with one S, GLOS, glossshaybutter.com.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
first and foremost, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on to the show tonight. It started off one way and ended up going another way, but at the end of the day, it was a great conversation. We got a lot accomplished. Um, we talked about a few things that that's going to be helpful to those who hear this, and get the message, because at the end of the day, most of our conversations and our talks have great messages to to them, I should say. I don't have anything else to add. If you guys want to give your last word, go in and give your last word, and then we're going to end the show.
well, date who wants to date you, date who loves you, date who works to make you happy. Doesn't matter what race, it doesn't. Step outside your box, step outside your comfort level, and actively work on your traumas.
There we
Actively.
go. DJ Shiny D. Big Day, your last word.
Just do what make you happy. If it makes you happy and you connect with the right person and y'all on the same level, do what you need to do to make it happen. Real talk.
There we go. Well, look, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on to the show. You know, and at the end of the day, look, date who makes you happy. You know, date who makes you feel good, who takes care of you, who loves you for you. You know, it doesn't matter if that motherfucker was purple. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I ain't
Yeah.
dating.
You know, if that man or woman makes you feel good or feel great, you know, but you just got to be careful, most of all, but date who loves you and makes you feel good and makes you feel happy. You know, I don't have anything else to add. I want to thank my guests for coming on to the show. It's been another one. It's your boy Dame D, and we are out.
Peace.